What's up, guys? Spin Firearms here, and over here at this channel, I focus on a lot of concealed carry oriented handguns, right? Because that is the handgun that you're most likely to use to defend yourself. That's the handgun you're always going to have on you, and so on, right? Now, I don't have just one concealed carry handgun. I don't think that necessarily works, especially as an active father. I think you need a couple different handguns in a rotation that fit every single aspect of your life. For instance, going to the park with your kids, going on bike rides, working out, versus going to the mall, going to the restaurant, you have to drive downtown to get to a family member's house, whatever the case may be. So therefore, I get a couple different options. That way I can just pick up whatever, train with it at the range, and I'm going to be good with whatever I have in my carry rotation. The Bodyguard 2.0 came out, and my understanding of that is that's probably the most monumental release of the year. But for the average person, they don't want to carry something that small. For the average person, they think, even though it's in 380, that it's too snappy. A lot of people say their hands won't fit it, whatever the case may be, right? So I feel like these two right here are the top two releases for 2024 that people are actually going to carry, purchase, and use. And if you haven't gotten one yet, I recommend you get it. Let's start. Right here is the Hellcat Pro Comp, and that's just a massive comp. That thing's absolutely ridiculous. And we were testing one of these with some Civil Liberty Defense rounds, my buddy Heg and I, and man, was it loud. It was absolutely ridiculous. Then right here, we have the M&P Shield Plus 4-inch, comped as well. A little bit smaller of a comp, but it's still there. And what I notice is, size-wise, right here, the only difference in length is basically that extra comp on the M&P, right? And then up top, you have 15 plus 1 on the right versus 10 plus 1 on the left. This came with 3 mags, 10 plus 1, 13 plus 1, 15 plus 1. This came with 3 mags, 15 plus 1, 15 plus 1, and 15 plus 1. I've seen some kits, though, that come with 17 plus 1. So that's your max for this handgun right here, 17 plus 1 with an OEM mag. And the max for this right here is 15 plus 1 with an OEM mag. So that's plenty for any self-defense encounter. You're not getting in shootouts. I know a lot of people think these are the movies. You're going to be sliding under barricades. You're going to be under cars. You're going to be jumping up and down. You're going to be getting in fist fights, drawn from the hip, racking your slide on a person's back. No. That's not self-defense, guys. That's movies. That's not reality, right? Anyways, check out the overall footprint of these handguns. They are about similar. In terms of capacity for its size, the Hellcat does win. But in terms of the ability to shapeshift and become a smaller handgun for concealability this way, that's where the M&P Shield Plus definitely comes in. Now, this is the carry comp. Let's talk about this for a second. Right here, I have an EPS carry mounted directly to it for a really nice co-witness to about 2/3 of that rear post. You miss the bottom third, but you still get 2/3 of this dot as well as your blacked out rear. And it comes with these amazing night vision sights. You got that yellow outline front, textured rear in the back. The exact sights you would want for a concealed carry handgun. Right out of the box. Both these handguns, sorry guys, no ditty. Both of these handguns come with everything you need right out of the box. You do not need to make any changes to them. Nothing. They're just ready to go. Awesome serrations throughout the whole handgun. They got lightning cuts. They got forward and rear serrations up top. They outdid themselves in the way the handgun looks. I think that draws a lot of people in to go ahead and want to pick up one. Sorry guys, I'm still recovering from being sick. As far as texturing goes, it's all over the handgun. Everywhere. The whole thing is textured. I don't know any other handguns that are textured the whole entire way. Now, it's not as aggressive as here, but there's still enough here. Therefore, you can get a good grip on this handgun and fight recoil regardless of hand size. There's always somewhere to put your finger that will help fight recoil a little bit as well, right? For me, carrying this, I do prefer the 10-round mag. I like smaller options. And what's nice about this long barrel and slide is it doesn't keel over. That's the problem with a lot of Micro 9s. They're so short here, they tip out. Here's your body. They tip out like this and cause you to print. That's why you have to buy a wedge for your holster, which code SPN at 10% off at Blacksmith Tactical if you are having trouble concealing your handgun and you need to get a wedge. They have them for like $5 or $6, whatever it ends up being. But having that longer barrel actually really helps with keeling. You do not have any keeling with this handgun. Even though I don't think it's the most comfortable handgun to carry, I'd prefer a little bit shorter slide. It's still really nice for the average person because a lot of people carry Glock 19s, Glock 17s, full sizes, compacts, all that. I typically don't. Now, mags are all quality. And like I said, this comes with 3 all different size mags. You got to respect it. And an amazing trigger on it. It's got the regular Shield Plus trigger. Absolutely great. It's been flawless, not a single reliability issue, and we've put it through its paces. It is a solid carry option for 2024, and I'm going to talk about which one I think is the better choice. Next up, the Hellcat Pro Comp. The typical Hellcat sights may take a little while to get used to, but are actually pretty nice. You have that white half circle in the back, yellow up front, and they're just good quality sights. You just got to get used to them. But aftermarket companies do have a lot of different sight pictures for these, and it works. In terms of recoil, this has it beat. This has a much bigger comp. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's just dumb. It is so big, it's ridiculous. I'll show you this. This is relatively big too, but still, it makes the Hellcat just look gigantic. I mean, look at this hole up top. It's just ridiculous. But both shoot really smooth, and both people, even for beginners, or both handguns, even for beginners, you would have no problem shooting these handguns. Forward serrations, rear serrations, the awesome finish that comes on Springfield Armories, as well as I didn't mention the awesome finish that comes on most Smith & Wessons. You can't beat it. You won't have any rusting issues. So both of them are equal when it comes to the finish. That's a little bit more shiny. This is a little bit more matte, but they both do their job. Nothing fancy about this. Cut for an optic. I have not put an optic on it yet because simply this thing rips as is. You do not need it. Point shooting, whatever the case may be, you are going to be on target. Awesome texturing on this whole handgun right here. And I want to say no rail. Smith & Wesson has put 0 rails on any of their handguns, but they did release the Streamlight TLR6 HL, their new version that is 3 times the lumen. So actually pretty solid. I actually own one and it's on my Shield Performance Center. This comes with a rail, so you can do a TLR7A. There's a bunch of great options for the Hellcat, so it wins in that department. On top of that, great texturing throughout the whole thing. Designated memory pads, gas pedals, whatever you want to call them. Takes down relatively easy, as does the Smith. Really skinny grip that actually feels pretty good in the hand. I get 2.5, almost a full 3-finger contact, and I really like it. Cut for an optic, like I said, I would probably go with Sealy Cat X Pro, or the EPS carry. I think you need a different adapter plate for it, just a really thin adapter, whatever the case may be, or the Shield optics. There's a lot of great options that fit this handgun. The Hex optics, there's a lot. Perfect texturing on this. I think I like the texturing on the Hellcat a little bit better. The one thing you can't do with this one is shrink it down. This is what you're given, that's what you get. I wish they released the version with the OG slide, or the OG, frame, with the Comp Pro slide. That's the best of both worlds. This also doesn't really keel over, but for some people it might, having that 3.7-inch barrel. I think this is the best of both worlds for the average person for concealed carry. It's just the right size. Extremely thin, has plenty of capacity, shootability, and as reliable as can be. There is no handgun I trust more than my Glock 26 and my Hellcats. There is none. They just run and run and run and run no matter what you throw at them. On top of that, the Hellcat has a double feed ramp right here. If you look in there, there's the feed ramp from your barrel, and then they have a built-in feed ramp down below. If you take apart a Hellcat, you realize how well these are really made. People like to talk crap because they're made in Croatia. It doesn't change anything. They're better made than most handguns on the market. They're meant to be durable and last forever, and they're great. Now, I upgraded to an Apex trigger. You do not need to. But I will say the Apex does change the handgun a lot, and the Shield Plus has a better trigger right from the factory. But if you do swap it out to an Apex, this is a little bit better. Both great handguns, very similar in size. Honestly, which one is better? It's extremely hard to tell. You have to flip a coin, and it all depends on the person. But in my opinion, I do think the Hellcat Pro Comp is the best release of 2024. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video.